Hey guys, it's Corey Alexander. Just wanted to say thank you for watching MotoAmerica on YouTube. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button.
Wall-to-wall racing here on one side of the Ridge Motorsports Park. The Ovale Cup, or the Mini Moto Cup, brought to you by Motul begins. Those are much smaller motorcycles, 110 cc's, 160, 190 cc's, very young riders. When you see them to scale, this is how you always can tell. The helmets look gigantic on small racers. If you see them just beside the track, they still go pretty darn fast. And if you don't have a full-size motorcycle or rider right next to you, you might not even realize how young and how small those riders are. And then on the full-size track, pit lane is open. Yes, Roger Hayden, we are pumped. We are finally ready to get this North America Talent Cup racing. This is the next size up from the mini division. These are 250cc motorcycles for young teenage riders, and they're ready to go.
We've seen a couple riders today have a couple crashes. You know, one guy couldn't even start the race.
Yep.
Mechanical issues, a couple other crashes. So this kind of gives everybody this extra time to get everything fixed, get it sorted out, and hopefully make this race.
Yes, dominating on lap times yesterday was the number 7 of Alessandro Di Mario on the B&M American Racing Team, but he crashed. And we can show you that and some other incidents that took place in this class. But like you said, Roger, all these riders will have a chance to rebuild the machine. So watch number 7 gets a pretty good jump off the line. This is the first start. We had problems going into the chicane. Boom. We get a rider down there. I believe that was Jack Beaudry down. And then another crash here.
Jaden Fernandez with the high side coming out of turn 8. And that's what caused the red flag. They had to get medical attention over to Jaden.
Tough break for Jaden. Now on the restart, watch the 7 of Di Mario stumbles a bit. Loses the position off the line. And then is going to try to work his way back forward. He had good speed, but he wasn't very patient with it. And the way to crash here, this was actually Enriquez and then that's actually Di Mario going down. Enriquez, they could not get the bike started. He started the back of the grid, tires weren't warm, he went down. Di Mario crashes, and after that they decided to red flag the race again. And then we had already bumped into our time limit this morning. So about 5 hours later, we're back on track for our race, hopefully.
Hopefully we got it all out of the way.
Absolutely. So if you're Di Mario, who I'm assuming is back out here, that is a big reprieve because he had the speed. He drifted back to third off the start. He tried to get a 2-for-1 pass and went down and should have that bike fixed up. Now, for some of the other riders, we're not sure about Fernandez. That was a big hit. We did see him being attended to by the medical crew, so I'm not sure if the number 13 was able to make it back out there. If you're the 25 of Enriquez, he had the bike problem. There he is. Took forever to get the bike started, and his reward for that was to crash immediately once he got back on the track trying to catch up on cold tires. So they've clearly got that bike working right now, although it did work to this point in the race, and then once it was turned off, he couldn't get it refired. Hopefully that's not going to be the case this time. Well, sometimes racing luck actually works in the favor. We talk so much about how important luck in racing is, but usually we talk about that on the bad luck side. But if you're the number 7 of Di Mario, if you're the number 25 of Enriquez, you were bailed out after crashes in the first race and a couple hours to get the bikes fixed up and ready to go.
You know, a couple of these kids were doing both this and the Ovale. So
right, how are they going to do that?
Some of them are going to miss the race. I did see Logan Cunnison out there, so I don't know if maybe he's doing both, but also looks like Jaden Fernandez is not making the start either. So I don't know if it's an injury or
right.
I know he does some of the mini cup as well. Yeah,
the plan was obviously run these bikes, as we said, in the morning, so their schedule will be clear to run the mini cup race, but things changed due to all the red flags and restarts. Not a lot of riders doing both. If you see one of those mini Ovales and even these 250 Aprilias, a pretty big difference in size. So there's only a handful of riders that would be able to ride both.
This is where the oil dry is.
Are they kind of testing it out? Is that why some riders are going over it?
I would probably try to just go under it, just play it safe.
Okay.
Because sometimes we've seen it like Road America, some of the guys getting into it and crashing in the carousel. So some tracks, for whatever reason, you know, sometimes it doesn't ever matter. You don't even notice it. But when it's right there on the entry, obviously you're going to go in there with a little bit of dust on your tires.
These are young riders. This is considered a group below even our Junior Cup division. This is an FIM championship that they run on similar bikes in other countries. Now bringing this into North America. There are a couple of Canadians out there and a bunch of Americans as well. And the whole idea from the FIM standpoint, and Dorna, who operates both World Superbike and MotoGP, plant the seeds for American talent. Who knows? Some rider in this group could be 10 years away from battling for a MotoGP World Championship, and that is the goal, to get Americans in there. Certainly, Roger, you know that firsthand, how big that is for both the American market and really motorcycling globally, to have an American battling or winning a World Championship.
And it just gives these kids the platform that, you know, the European kids have, people in Italy. They get to start racing, going to tracks like this at such a young age, just gives them such a big head start, and just start learning early.
Yeah, there was a time, I have to tell my son, who's 7 years old, all the time, I have to say, believe it or not, you watch these MotoGP races now, there used to be Americans not just contending, but winning podium sweeps back in the 80s and 90s. It's a far cry from that, but it is a full rebuild for American road racing with both MotoAmerica and also the FIM North America group putting together the North American Talent Cup. And this should be the rider they're chasing, because he was so fast yesterday. A 1.7 second edge in qualifying times for this number 7 of Alessandro Di Mario coming out of Kentucky. But he did have a crash earlier this morning, so we'll see if he can get back to that pace that he had on Friday.
If he can get back to that pace he had yesterday, there's a good chance he makes a break. But we've seen today, whenever, you know, those guys kind of roughed him up a little bit in that first chicane, and he couldn't get away, he made a mistake. So that's what they're going to need to do again.
Young riders, not a lot of experience, so anything can happen in this race, which will be our final one of the day here on MotoAmerica Live Plus. Jason Weigandt and Roger Hayden to give you the call. It's the North America Talent Cup. Lights are green.
Good start from Aiden Sneed.
And yeah, the 95 of Sneed going to get the edge. DeMario can even hold on to second in the chicane. He can. But Sneed doing what he needs to do, getting out front. And a quick race into this section here.
And everybody made it through the chicane, so that was nice. And you can see this draft already. All these kids just trying to put themselves in the right spot.
And we're going to start going uphill. That is the trademark of this track. A lot of elevation change. Sneed trying to hold on, and DeMario already trying to set him up. A couple of different lines here. These are 250cc Aprilia bikes. Pretty low tech, low cost. Down to the inside is DeMario. Gave it a look. Sneed holds him off.
And I actually seen Logan Cunnison out there. Seen the 58. He must have started in the back, might have had an issue.
Everybody else besides Jaden Fernandez, who had a big crash, I think he might have hurt himself this morning. He did not start this race. Everybody else is up and running right now. It is Aiden Sneed on the number 95 coming out of Texas in the lead, and it is shuffled. DeMario has been pushed back to third. Is that the 23? 27 of
Chris Clark.
Chris Clark, who has done some winning, I believe, already in this series and some of the other races. Able to move into the number 1 spot. Can he check out on Sneed? So good job by Chris Clark out of Virginia, backed by Rumble Kong Racing, and he is trying to stretch it. DeMario looking to hang on for that number 3 spot. As we're down this waterfall, very tight section, no passing through here. DeMario getting it back together. He is challenging Sneed for second.
I mean, if Logan Cunnison, it says he's in 13th place, and I see him, if he started last and he's worked his way up to 4th already. Because he wasn't on the grid.
Unbelievable, yeah. Well, we'll see what kind of speed he has. He had the fastest lap.
By a lot.
Wait a minute, it is changing in a hurry. The 7 of DeMario goes into second, and he almost took it from Sneed. So our leader, Clark, he got shuffled back to third, heading into the chicane, and he's coming right back on the 27. It's 3 wide in this corner, and DeMario back into the lead. It has shuffled in a hurry. 3-4 changes in position just through the carousel and into what we call turn 1 alone. And now you got to wonder what happened to Clark, who had that number 1 spot. It's been pushed back. Can he fire back on the 27? Down to the inside of the 95 is Sneed. Gave it a look.
You can tell Snead definitely does not want to let DeMario get away. He's been a little bit quicker than everybody else this weekend, so obviously he's got the pace.
Pretty interesting what happened there for DeMario to go from pole position, shuffle back, was fighting for his life even to hold on to third, and then came all the way back to retake the lead, and that's in about a half of a lap. And now he's starting to stretch it. With the 95 of Snead, like you said, Roger, wants to keep him in sight. Can he do it? And you want to watch out for that 58 of Cunnison, who came from pretty far back. Can he maintain that pace? Not much you can do on these motorcycles as far as changes are concerned. You do clickers.
Look at the corner speed they're able to carry.
Slower bikes, but they can carry momentum. And DeMario looks back, sees Snead. And Clark going at it. Yeah, they don't have to slow down much going into these corners. Well, it's a critical juncture here. Now the gap's starting to stretch just a little bit for DeMario. Gonna be 3 to go. When they cross the stripe, can they hang with him? Can Cunnison find that magic that he had on lap 1? There he is on the 58. Logan Cunnison, Speed Demon Racing out of Louisiana. These bikes are able to battle through this chicane. We haven't seen that in a lot of the other classes.
I think just the corner speed and how, slower that they're going, they're able to go through there. We've seen them 2 or 3 wide going through the chicane. We can't see that in the other classes.
Oh, great racing here as the 27 of Clark tries to set up Snead for second. Is it going to be a race only for second? Is DeMario going to be able to get away? Had to be a heart-stopping moment on that first lap when he was getting shuffled off of the podium positions. Uh-oh, they're in the dry, the oil dry. It held for Clark. He lost a position, but at least he kept the bike upright.
That last lap, DeMario did a 59.3. I think that might be his quickest lap of the weekend, possibly. I don't know if he's did a 58.
Yeah, 59.5 was the qualifying time. Good call. So 2/10 quicker even than qualifying. And he is checking out. So we will check out this battle for second. Snead versus Clark. Cunnison right there. Suhaib Salem is 5th. He had a crash earlier in the weekend. I believe that was yesterday. So good recovery for him. Look out for Cunnison, and that's 58 in 4th. He's not out of the podium battle. With about 2.5 laps to go. Clark, Snead, and Cunnison going at it. Cunnison closing in on that 58. Whoa! Almost contact as the 27 was trying to get to the inside. Not enough room. So Logan Cunnison from 4th, third rider in your shot here, is right in this battle. This is great stuff.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Snead might have a little issue shifting there, and then kind of stopped for a second.
That's why he lost the pace on that straightaway.
And why Clark almost got into the back of him. That was
quick
close.
reactions there. Talking riders around the ages of 12, 13, and 14. 3 wide into the chicane.
Oh.
All the way over on the paint was Snead looking for running room, and he made it work. But then he goes too deep and too wide, and here comes a 27 of Clark to get him back. And then he almost tangles.
God, he just let off the brakes and just went for it through the chicane.
Well, it worked at the beginning, but it did not work at the end. Lost 2 positions.
But you can see, even on these bikes on that front straightaway, where that draft is definitely coming into play, and now DeMario gets into the 58s, 58.8, so.
Unbelievable. Well, he's gone. Gap is probably over 2 seconds now. Almost contact between Cunnison on the 58 to 27 of Clark.
Uh-oh.
Snead's going to get Cunnison back. Got it. You love to see young riders like this. I mean, they are sending it.
And just being aggressive like this is just what's going to put these kids so much further ahead in their career. Just think if they didn't have this, just what they're able to do and learn and work on that aggressiveness.
Otherwise, you'd have to wait a couple more years to be young enough to race in Junior Cup to get out here on the full-size track. We're almost 3 wide again. Clark on the 27, just able to hold Snead behind him. Snead looking for an opening. Will he try the inside here? Can't get there. It's going to be a lap to go the next time Alessandro Mario gets to the line. It's where he saw some passing the previous time.
Look at Logan on the outside.
Can you go side by side through this section? There's not a lot of room. Snead of the 95. Just able to hold Cunnison off.
But Cunnison's a little bit smaller, so I think this front straightaway possibly he can make the draft.
Okay, we'll see if that works. There is your leader. He is gone on lucky number 7. Alessandro is.
See?
There it is. There's draft. White flag is out. So Cunnison did make the move. Can he get himself in position to do the same to Chris Clark at the end?
But we've also seen Aiden Snead. He's been pretty aggressive.
Look at him taking the hands off the bars to get as aerodynamic as they can. That's a short straightaway, but for these bikes, that aerodynamics, it matters. What a fantastic battle for second, third, and fourth. Alexander Enriquez, who had all the drama this morning, took about 20 minutes, I think, to get that bike started. Then he crashed. He's going to salvage a top 5 out of this. Nice perseverance for him. There's your leader. He's gone. And we go back to this battle for third. Clark, Cunnison, Snead. Got a passing opportunity coming up at the end of this section. How does Snead play it down this hill? Couldn't find an opening on that 95.
Chris Clark's actually made a little bit of a breakthrough here, but we've seen Cunnison. He's going to be able to get in that draft a little bit through here. These bikes will draft, and I think he'll be right on him by the time they get into turn 11.
Yeah, Chris Clark does need to get away, and he couldn't. Cunnison got right back to him. And if he can get this close heading into the final straightaway, he might be able to make a pass. This is second, third, and fourth. Alessandro Di Mario, long gone, out of Kentucky, looking for the win. Oh, but this battle is going to be fantastic down to the line. There's Cunnison.
Cunnison's in the perfect spot because I don't think, you know, the guy behind him can draft, and I think he can draft the person in front of him.
He's a smaller rider. They do have to put weights on the bike to try to balance out total rider and bike weight, but some of the dads are saying if you're really, really light, there's only so much weight they let you add. So Cunnison could have an advantage here. Checkered flag is out. Alessandro Di Mario goes from pole to race winner. Battle to the line. Close, but Chris Clark is going to hold Logan Cunnison off, and that'll round out the podium. That's a fantastic finale for the day with some great racing, aggressive passes. Now Alessandro Di Mario did go from pole to win, but he did have to fight for it on the first couple laps. He got shuffled back. And watch this battle for second. We knew that Cunnison was going to make a run at it from third. Here it is. There's Clark. There's Cunnison right behind him. That was the difference between second and third.
Clark's pretty small too, so I think that's why he didn't quite make up as much as he did besides when he was behind Snead.
And all these kids get to enjoy a victory lap. This is really fun. And they will be back for more racing tomorrow, as will all of our classes. A wild race day here, race day number 1 from the Ridge. And it should be even better tomorrow. We'll start it with warm-up at 10:15 a.m. Pacific time for Medallia Superbike, and then it's warm-up for the Junior Cup, and then race 2 for the Stock 1000 class, then Twins Cup, Junior Cup, and we'll round out with the Super Sport race 2, and then we'll flip over to the next side of our schedule. Superbikes and another race for this North American Talent Cup will round out our race weekend here from the Ridge. It has been really enjoyable today. Some drama, some highs and lows, the classic stuff you get when you go racing. And we'll have rematches in every single division tomorrow, as point standings have tightened up in a variety of divisions, and we definitely saw some salvage jobs, a lot of crashes, and a lot of comeback rebuilds and heroic stories from the back of the grid. It's like what you like to see when you go racing in MotoAmerica. For Roger Hayden and Michael Hill, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching us on MotoAmerica Live Plus on a Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow morning at just past 10 o'clock Pacific.